Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batwoman Season 1. Pretty much ripped off like elements from Birds of Prey Season 1 Episode 1. It's quite uncanny, because like if you've never watched Birds of Prey, then you'll never pick up on the similarities. But if you have watched Birds of Prey back in 2002, then you will realize that Batwoman Season 1, there's a lot of stuff going in Batwoman Season 1 that was taken from like that first episode of Birds of Prey. And so like it makes you wonder. Somebody just watched them and like, hey, this show didn't last that long, but this is interesting. That's interesting. Let's pull it. But there's another reason for that. They got the same producer. So I guess he's all like, look, man, if I can't do this for like this show, then I'm gonna do it for this one. And stuff like that. And it's just crazy and it's weird. Cause like, Birds of Prey was on the WB. And Batwoman's on the CW, and technically the CW is the WB when it merged with that of UPN. And it's also funny because both shows are like Bat Family type shows set in Gotham where a Batman is no longer there. And so let's get into some of these similarities and stuff because it's kind of crazy and ironic how like it just up and just ripped from that show and stuff. So this show, Birds of Prey, it deals with Gotham City. And of course, Batwoman deals with Gotham City, but that's not really so much like a rip off, but it is two shows that deal with Gotham City. So hey, let's just count that. Why not? Now, both shows are begin with flashbacks that show like Batman before he leaves Gotham, because in both shows Batman has left Gotham. And in Birds of Prey, Batman leaves because he's devastated because the Joker hired Clayface to kill Selena Kyle. And then Joker found out who Batgirl is and shot Barbara, making her paraplegic. And in one of their last battles, they fight to like the death, and there's like flames and explosions all around. And then nobody knows what happened to the Joker, but they say Batman did not kill him. But Batman left Gotham because he was just too depressed and everything. Now, when you get into that of Batwoman, it starts off too with like Kate Kane and Beth Kane in the car with their mom. It goes off like the bridge and Batman is trying to save the car. He saves Kate, but he's unable to save or find Alice. And then Alice went through like this trouble like youth and then grew up to be like a supervillain. Or Beth grew up to be like a supervillain known as Alice. Now, because of season 3 of Batwoman, we now know that this flashback had more stuff. In fact, Batman was the Joker was in that flashback. And that's ironic because Joker was in the flashback of Birds of Prey and everything. But this Joker and this Batman, we don't get to see their faces, but in Birds of Prey, we actually do. Now, however, you can see Joker's face via Pagey, YouTuber. He found the picture and he shared it online. Now, in both shows, we actually get to see Batman in his suit, and we get to see Joker in his suit. However, in Birds of Prey, you can see Batman full on frontal, and so is the Joker. Not frontal nude, but like their front shots of like their bodies, and we actually get to see their faces. Whereas in Batwoman, sadly, because DC has become more like upset at the fact they don't want people showing Joker or Batman, we only are allowed to see like the back of them and stuff, or like we'll see the front of the Joker, but his face is kind of blurred and stuff. In both shows, Batman and Bruce Wayne technically do show up and have some dialogue. In Birds of Prey, we get to see full on Batman doing his thing. And then at the end of the last episode, he calls Alfred asking how his daughter is doing because he is the daughter of this version of Huntress from those Elseworld comic books and stuff. Now, in Batwoman, we only get to see the back of Batman and we get to see the bat suit as is in display. But Thomas Elliott dressed up as Bruce Wayne and we get to see him and everything. But that's not the real one. But then we do get to see the real one in a hallucination of Luke Fox and everything. Our main character, our main hero of the show is related to Batman in some way. In Birds of Prey, Huntress Helena Kyle is the daughter of Batman, and her mother is like Selena Kyle. But then over in Batwoman, Kate Kane is the cousin of Bruce. Both main stars, for some bizarre reason, don't want to live in Wayne Manor and instead live in an apartment. Ironically, for some reason, both heroes that are related to Batman work in a bar. Like, what are the coincidences that what happened? Both of our heroes are aided by like an accomplice. Now, technically, in Batwoman, this only happens in season 2 and 3 when Batwing shows up. But then in Birds of Prey, their version of Dinah Lance comes up, a telepath with psychic abilities and psychic energy blasts. Both of our heroes have a tech support type person. In Birds of Prey, it is mentor, motherly figure, Oracle, better known as Barbara Gordon. And in Batwoman, it's Luke Fox, the son of Lucius Fox, who used to work with Bruce Wayne, the Batman. The tech person at some point in time used to be or is currently a superhero. In Birds of Prey, Barbara used to be Batgirl. And in Batwoman, eventually by season 2 and in season 3, Luke becomes Batwing. In both shows, a member of the Pennyworth family aids like the main heroes of the show. In Birds of Prey, it's Alfred, and in Batwoman, it's Alfred. What is that? His niece, daughter, whatever her name is. I think her name might be Laura. I can't really remember. She doesn't show up on the show no more. Our main hero tragically loses their mother in like the flashback opening of the scene. The main hero operates in Gotham, taking up the slack left behind by Batman. The main hero of the show, love interest, happens to be a black Gotham detective in both shows. In Birds of Prey, it's Detective Reese. In like Batwoman is Sophie. Our main character, our main hero of the show is related to Batman in some way. In Birds of Prey, Huntress Helena Kyle is the daughter of Batman, and her mother is like Selena Kyle. But then over in Batwoman, Kate Kane is the cousin of Bruce. Our main hero is estranged from like their father. In both shows, ironically, two of the main characters travel from a far distance to go live in Gotham. In Birds of Prey is Dinah Lance, or Red Mound is what she was known as, an adoptive family, foster family, but she's really Dinah Lance. And she travels from her home all the way to Gotham to like, you know, be on the show and operate and all this other stuff and fight crime, blah, blah. And in Batwoman, of course, Kate Kane comes back to Gotham to live in and take up the mantle and become like the symbol of the bat. Both women of the show who travel from a long distance to go live in Gotham breaks into like the command center of whatever the hero is supposed to be on that show. In Birds of Prey, she breaks into the headquarters, the clock tower of Oracle and Huntress. And Batwoman breaks into like the Bat Cave. Both Huntress and Batwoman are part of the Bat family in the comics. Now, the female that like travels a long distance to be on the show, originally the mentor slash tech person is relentful of wanting them to join the team and stuff. But eventually they do allow that person to do it and they bond and become like almost like family. Peter Roth, he was a producer on the Birds of Prey show back in the day, and he was also one on Batwoman. However, now he has stepped down after Ruby Rose alleged that he made the environment toxic and everything and unsafe. Now, in Birds of Prey, they have a doctor in the form of a psychiatrist, Dr. Harleen Quinzel. And in Batwoman, they have a doctor as well, Mary. But she's like a doctor. In both shows, the primary antagonist is a blonde person who eventually becomes a kooky-headed like sociopath. In Birds of Prey, Harleen Quinzel, even though she never became Harley Quinn with the costume, still used to tangle with the Joker back in the day and was corrupt, and she built like an army of metahumans to take over Gotham. And Batwoman, the main antagonist is Alice. She is the twin sister of Kate Kane. She used to be Beth Kane. She turned to a life of crime. She formed the Alice in Wonderland gang, and they wreak havoc on Gotham. And last, the most obvious one of them all is the actress of Rachel Skarsten. I believe that's how you say her name. She was in both shows. When she was in Birds of Prey, she was only 16 years old playing Dinah Lance. And now in Batwoman, I think, what is it, like 20 years later or something now, like, because this show came out like 3 years ago anyway, but it's 20 years now, she plays Alice. And that's just crazy. So yeah, it's just funny how there are like so many similarities between like both shows. They're small and subtle, but they're still there. Now, of course, both shows are completely different in tone. Birds of Prey is old school comic book TV show telling, whereas Batwoman is part of the Arrowverse and the new age of like telling stories and stuff. Long-winded speeches, everything being about love, everything being about drama and emotions and stuff like that. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.